should be there now. Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Age of Empires 4 on the GTX 1050 Ti, 570 and 1650 Super. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the channel once again. It's been a couple days, and this game released, a couple, 3-4 days ago. And I wanted to give it a shot. I'm not super into RTS games, really. I played Age of Empires 2 back in the day and Empire Earth 1. But I'm mostly into Total War games, not Age of Empires, so this is new for me. Roger, Evil Neko, how are you doing, guys? Welcome. Based on Digital Foundry's review, the game has various issues. Yeah, I tried it out very quickly before starting. Oh well, I gotta say, it has a huge problem with performance that I'm going to talk about. I thought it was my computer, but it's a general issue, so... yeah, they haven't fixed that yet, so let's go to campaign, the first one, start the mission, and we're doing medium settings first because high seems to be a little bit too hard on the GPU, but we'll see. I'm going to show you something first. Hi, Have Saxina, sorry if I messed that up, Andrew Borges, Josh Francisco. Yeah, this game has a big issue. When you move the camera, the frame rate drops like half the frame rate. It's ridiculous. Hey, Augmented Realism. Jorge, ¿todo bien? Aguanta el mate, tal cual. So guys, as you can see on medium settings, 1080p. I'm getting 60 frames right here, but look at that frame time, that's spiky frame time when moving the camera. Well, when you manually move the camera, well, brace yourselves.
Here, on this hilltop, the fate of England would be decided.
So yeah. So, while the camera is still, we're fine, as you can see, 60 frames. No issues. Let's move the camera around, like we do on RTS games. As you can see there, the frame time kinda... yeah, completely spiky. Look at those frame drops. So yeah, it feels kinda inconsistent when moving the camera like this. So yeah, that kinda disappoints me really, because it's a huge drop. But at the same time, yeah, it's an RTS game, you don't need 60 frames, whatever. But this bothers me. I mean, come on. It's not GTA 7. I mean, look at this. Of course, you're not moving the camera like this all the time, but still, it drops frames when I move the camera. Hey, Modernize, which is Triangulum. Alan, no sabría decirte. Sí, por supuesto, Red Trainer Z. Yeah, guys, I'm testing GTA and maybe Call of Duty, we'll see. I'm not sure if I do Call of Duty this year.
Launching a direct assault on the shield wall.
Alright. So as I was saying, that's what bothers me really. You can do 60 frames, but when you move the camera, well, frame time galore. So let's see, what else can I do? Yeah, I'll buy the GTA trilogy. What I'm not sure about yet is the Call of Duty thing. If I'm doing it. Hey, Jim76UH. And I cannot pan the camera away, I can zoom in. And that doesn't kill the frame rate like on the Total War games, which is good. The game optimization is very trash. I had the same issues on your 1070. Okay, it's not an issue on my computer then. It drops frames when you move the camera, which is weird. I mean, it's an RTS game. Usually RTS games, you move the camera a lot. I mean, and considering the visuals, I think that's pretty disappointing. They say something related to how the engine works, but still, I would like to see this fixed. Doesn't seem to be well optimized, COD looks to be more of the same. Yeah, I mean, it's Call of Duty. It's the definition of more of the same. So yeah. Does Rockstar hand out keys? Unfortunately not. Rockstar doesn't pay attention to that, I think. I think you have to be IGN or a bigger reviewer to be in Rockstar's list, but I don't need to be. I mean, I'll buy the game. The game will probably pay itself by doing live streams and videos, at least for me. So yeah. This issue exists even in a 10900K and a 3090. Okay. Then we're very lucky that we can get 60 frames. That's kind of insane then. If that kind of hardware cannot handle it properly, well, we're doing a good job. I don't even know what I'm doing really. Let's just attack the boss. What's the name of your CPU case? Everything is in the description. You'll find it there, I think. Okay, the leader is down. William has fallen. Select a unit and right-click on William to order them to revive him. Gotcha. Hey, revive my boss. Why is the performance not great? It seems to be engine limitations. Although in the trailer, I love the comments in the trailer for Age of Empires 4. They said like, it looks like what ads for mobile games are, but it actually looks like that. Which is true. I mean, this game looks like those trailers for mobile games that are fake, but this one is the real thing. Okay, I think I'll do something more interesting. This seems to be very basic. It's probably because it's the first level. Let's go to a bigger battle to really test out the hardware. So we're going to Art of War. Let's do a late siege. Yeah, let's do that. There should be more units on screen. Can you give me your Snapchat? That's funny. Does Snapchat still exist? I got a Series S for 300 USD, so good for that money. Yeah, I agree. That's a good price. For $300, you don't get a decent GPU. That's for sure. Okay, now that we're in the more demanding place, there are more drops. I mean, yeah, visually I don't think it's that impressive. Looks pretty basic to me. And it's more cartoony. Are you a fan of Age of Empires series or is it just your first game? It's actually my second game. I played Age of Empires 2 when I was a kid, but I was never a hardcore fan. I was more in the boat of Empire Earth and Rome Total War. So Age of Empires was a very tiny part of my childhood. I would say, consider this my first Age of Empires. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of RTS games, so yeah. I mean, I'm just here for the performance, but I wanted to check out the game as well. It's on Game Pass, so gotta try it. Sí, tal cual, Omar. Pronto.
You can construct more powerful engines from the siege.
Okay, let's skip this. You like Age of Mythology? It's been a while since I heard that name. Okay, this is more demanding, definitely. It's below 60. Defeat the Holy Roman Empire. Gotcha. Select to build heavy siege weapons. Let's build Trebuchet, Bombard. Nice, that was quick. Good. Seems to be easy to move around. Okay, gotcha. Military unit. Oh man, the stutter when moving the camera is insane. Why does cutscene reduce FPS? Probably because they are panning the camera closer to the ground. But I mean, guys, in this part the frame times are even worse than on the first level. Probably because there are more things on the screen, but I mean, look at this. I move the camera a little bit, look at the frame rate. It goes into the 30s right away. I mean, what the hell? Let me lock it to 30 for a second. Are there driver updates for this game? Yeah, I'm using the Game Ready driver for this one. Okay. If I lock it to 30, still the frame time kinda breaks, but it's more consistent. So yeah, with a frame rate lock is better, but not ideal in any way. Okay, siege tower. Yeah, build it here. Right next to the wall. Yeah, dude, go alone. Go and build that tower. I like that I can do that. But I mean, look at those frame times. It's ridiculous. Oh. Yeah, no, that wasn't going to work. Oh no. Yeah, no. That bothers me. That's unacceptable. What the hell? And a top-down game. I mean, at least if the game was more photorealistic, it wouldn't bother me that much, but... yeah, no. Archers, kill everyone. Oh. Yeah, no, I mean, look at that frame time. What the hell, man? They screwed up. Sí, F por el mejor guerrero. F's in the chat for the best warrior. He went on his own. Built that siege tower, and well, after that he just died. Oh man, moving the camera is such a pain. I mean, I know it's an RTS game and you just click on stuff, but still, moving the camera is so uncomfortable. It's ridiculous. Right click on enemy walls. Okay. Let's go. Attack! Kill them all! How old is this game? This was released 4 days ago, or something like that. It's on Game Pass, which is a big plus for me, because you don't have to buy the game. You can just pay for the subscription and you're good to go. But I mean, look at that performance. I'm not saying, hey, it should be 4K 60 frames per second. I want just consistency. I mean, I'm on medium settings 1080p. And look at that frame time. What the hell? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Even, yeah guys, even Back 4 Blood runs better than this. And I'm not even doing anything special. I'm just moving units for this tower and trying to kill some enemies. I'm not even doing a massive battle. It's a new game, DX12. Yeah, but still, I mean, come on. Even the people from Digital Foundry said, hey, when I move the camera, it uses double my GPU. Well, here we don't have more GPU to use, so it just drops frames. I don't know. Janice Gamer, how are you doing, man? Must be some DRM for that frame time. You'd say so? I'm not sure. Something is off, without a doubt. I mean, I'm not even on the highest settings.
With its walls in ruins, the heart of the city
Okay,
is now
nice.
vulnerable.
Walls are down.
The town center lies within range.
Get a new PC. Ha, that's a nice one, Paradise Decay. And also, Paradise Decay, one thing. Look at what a friend of mine lent me. An Oculus Quest 1. So I can now test Half-Life Alyx on a 1050 Ti. So yeah. How are you doing, man? Long time no see. Let me restart this. Let's try higher settings. Let's see if we can do 30 frames consistently on high settings. So we're going for high. And I hate that I have to restart the game each time. It's ridiculous. Everything requires a restart. Okay, let's keep textures on high. Yeah, sure, geometry. Let's put it on high, not on maximum. Anti-aliasing, let's put it on high. Physics on high, so the frame rate of the physics is different. And that should do. Let's try that out. So 1080p high. And I mean, 30 frames, it's fine. It's an RTS game, but at the same time, again, considering the complexity of the graphics, what the hell is going on with the performance? Making RTS games with beautiful graphics is hard because they need to consider the existence of a lot of units, and I agree. The thing is, it doesn't make sense. It's using like, what, one thread? I don't know. I mean, at least make the frame time consistent or use my CPU at 100%, something. Something doesn't add up. Nice, the resolution will not look as good as Quest 2, but super excited. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I wish every game ran as well as Resident Evil and as the RE engine. Well, that's a very specific thing. According to the developer, that spoke with Digital Foundry, they had an engine limitation with the camera movement, so I don't know how that works. It's probably very difficult to do, but still, something is off. It's probably not intended behavior. I'm just asking for a consistent frame time. Again, I'm not asking for 120 frames. Okay. Visually speaking, the edges are a lot better, without a doubt. We're at 30 frames, but when moving the camera again, frame times are bad. We're going to try low settings after this.
You can also research additional siege technologies at the Madras.
I mean, the game is probably great, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are saying good things about it. But I mean, the numbers don't add up. Yeah, let's go full on attack. I mean, moving the camera, yeah, it drops there. I'm not doing any precise aiming like in Call of Duty. But yeah, moving the camera around is what makes the frames drop like crazy. I wish every game ran like Metal Gear Solid 5. Well, F's in the chat for Metal Gear Solid. Kojima, we need you. We miss you. Okay, more units. Close to cinematic experience now. Yeah, I mean, to me at least, 30 frames is fine on an RTS game. It's not like the mouse cursor slows down. The thing is that when I move the camera, it's like... yeah, the motion is not there. Okay, let's try this. So we're going to select all these and build a siege tower. Let's go. And while we do that, we're going to launch an attack onto the door with a cannon. Any plans to stream Half-Life Alyx? Yeah, what I wanna have is the FPS counter on my wrist and the chat on my other wrist. So I'm going to try that, and once I do that, I'm going to be able to stream it on different GPUs. It will be fun. Out of the ordinary for me. But I want to be able to talk to you guys while I'm in the VR headset. That will be cool. And at the same time I can tell you, okay, there is a certain amount of frames being displayed. Oh, I screwed up. My cannon is dead. I forgot there were units there. Jesus. My bad. Nice, excellent. 750 Ti, maybe at the end, we'll see. And as you can see, I'm terrible at the game. Wow, Jesus, the camera movement. Will you try Resident Evil 4 on the 750 Ti? I already did, I have a video on it. Okay, you guys, attack the ones on the door, please. Yeah, it still drops into the 20s, but those are the stutters when moving the camera. So yeah. Yeah, kill them all, please. These units speak Persian, really? Nice. That's interesting. Yeah, still, this frame time is very similar to the one we had before. Those spikes, despite being 20 frames behind, medium settings. Is this campaign mod? I don't know what that means. There's a workaround to get RE4 VR working on the Quest 1. Oh, send me an email. I want to know all about it, please. That would be incredible. I want to play it on PC though, with higher resolution. When will they release Total War Warhammer 3? I don't know. Is that announced or is it a rumor? Oh, I don't have resources to make more cannons. Jesus. Age of Empires still gives me anxiety to this day. Oh no. No more anxiety, please. I have enough with the one I have already. Sound effects are good in this game, isn't it? Yeah, sounds good. The thing is, again, what bothers me is the frame time. I don't mind if it's 30 frames. It's an RTS game. I'm fine. The thing is, when the camera movement is this inconsistent, it kinda makes me dizzy. But control is fine. The game controls okay. The thing is, again, the camera movement. You can play PC on PC RE4 VR exclusive to Quest 2. Gotcha. Thanks for the heads up. What a shame though. Hopefully one day it comes to PC. DX12 only, it appears to be. We'll find out if we test the 750 Ti. Try an 8K, I'm fine. No 8K for now. Okay, so 30 frames on high settings with drops into the 20s when moving the camera. Which again feels like 30 frames when I'm clicking on things. The problem is, again, that frame time. I mean, look at that. That's insane. And it's not using all the resources. It's using the GPU, yeah. But I think a 30 frames lock like this is probably going to help. Yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah, lock it to 30 if you can, with Reva Tuner.
With its walls in ruins,
So yeah,
the heart of the
I'll
city
unlock
is
it
now
again.
vulnerable.
But yeah, that avoids the frame time to be a spiky mess. You gotta have some GPU power to spare, lock the frame rate to something higher, and boom, you're ready to go. Let's put it on low now. Let's see what it does. Okay, low settings. We save and restart the game. Yeah, cap it to 30. I think that's the solution. Maybe medium settings, 30 FPS cap, and you should be good to go. The good thing is that the cursor doesn't slow down when we are at below 60 frames. So I think in this case in particular, being an RTS game, I would just target 30. Doesn't make sense to go for 60. The frame time is so spiky that the camera movement feels very uneven. Is that because the DRM? I don't know. What DRM is it using? I'm not informed about that in this game. Does this game require only physically supported DX12 API GPUs? We're about to find out. We're going to do 750 Ti in the end to check that out. But maybe, who knows? So low settings, as you can see. Shadows are on low, not on off. You can turn shadows off, so we're going to try that out after this. No, not the campaign, at least not yet. Hang on. Art of War, Late Siege. You delete every game after testing? Probably, yeah. Once I finish them. Actually, I put them on a 4 TB external drive, and if I need to test them again, I move them to the SSD. And that's how I make it work. Although Warzone doesn't fit my SSD anymore. So yeah. Okay, low settings looks way worse, which makes sense, it's low settings. And I'm getting 200 frames now. Okay. That's good. It runs so much better on low. Okay. Now we're fine.
Your
Interesting.
resources are limited, so think carefully before deciding which siege engines.
So 150 frames. What the hell? It's a huge difference visually. It's super smooth now, but it looks way worse.
Every second spent waiting for the
There's a lot of missing assets.
is a second lost towards earning a medal.
Oh, but it's so much better to play like this. Ridiculous. Yeah, it feels so much better to move the camera like this. Hilarious. Yeah, the grass is missing. There's a lot of details that are gone. There's no shadows. Let me see if I can add shadows with medium settings. Yeah, if I put image quality on low, it uses a different preset that doesn't have any foliage or anything. Yeah, there's no shadows on the low preset. Even if I put shadows on high. Interesting. Yeah, even if I put shadows on high, those are missing. That's probably why it runs so much better on the low preset. I mean, there's 3 presets, low, medium, and high. But as you can see here, it says games saved in a higher setting will become invalid when this is set to a lower setting. That's kind of weird. It's like the game is completely different on the medium image quality, low or high. I mean, on low you can only change shadows, and the shadows are missing. So The most important option appears to be image quality, without a doubt. It affects the entire game. Because the difference is between 60 and 200 FPS. So yeah, that's interesting. At least we can get over 60 like this, despite sacrificing the graphics. I mean, it's way better to control.
Your enemies are now sallying forth from their walls.
Here we go. We shoot the cannon. Kill them all. What version of Windows are you using? The latest one, the latest Windows 10 version. Let's kill them all. High refresh rate gaming. Yeah, in an RTS game, I mean, look at the frame time. Jesus Christ, what the hell? Okay, I can see the issue. There's one core at 80%, so it's single-threaded. Okay, gotcha. So, and it's 100 FPS. If I log into 60 frames, yeah, it still does the same thing. Yeah, that's very weird. Even when locking the frame rate, it still stutters. Saludos, Pablo. We do not encourage you to use Windows 11 at the moment. Same. Yeah, no. Skip Windows 11 for now. That's probably in a couple years. At the earliest. Looks different than the early games. Does it feel the same? I played Age of Empires 2 a decade ago, so I'm not really able to say. I have no idea. But on low settings, it's okay. It's fine, it runs like it should. But still, the stutters are there. There's something wrong there. Definitely. Let's try the medium preset. Again. But with everything on low. Maybe there we get a good balance. Who knows. Maybe you can do something in settings.ini. I saw a similar problem on old games. I don't know. Let me find out. Age of Empires, where are you? Maybe in app data. I'll try that later. Let me find out in PC Gaming Wiki where's the config file. But we shouldn't need to enter to the config file. That's kind of the thing that bothers me. Okay, config file. Okay, it only has the Steam folder for the config file, so I have no idea where it is. So I put it on medium. Let's see how it goes. Medium, the medium visual setting. So on this one it seems that you need to restart the game each time. But it changes the way the game selects the assets. Yeah, as you can see on medium is 53 frames and the shadows are missing. Still. So yeah, you have the three presets, low, medium and high, but in comparison to the classic low, medium and high that we know of, it removes more stuff. When you select high image quality, for example, it doesn't mean that it changes everything down here. It just means that it renders some things are not rendered right away. It's like three versions of the game.
Your resources are limited.
Because on medium like this, there is more grass, but everything was on low. On low settings there is no grass whatsoever. That's why probably the FPS are so much higher. The textures are way worse on low, the models are worse, and the grass is completely missing when using low visual. So yeah, I mean, if I put everything on low here, it's not the same as putting image quality on low. Image quality on low means, okay, you have a 2005 game on low, then you have a modern game on medium, and on high you have a more modern RTS game, visually speaking. So I would say, use medium settings. If you care about graphics, medium settings should be the best balance, since it stutters anyway, even if you go for low settings. So put everything on medium, like this. Because the game seems to be just maxing out one core, and that's about it. So yeah, let's put it like that and restart the game. Yeah, it's using 1 or 2 cores, no more than that. And when the battle starts, well, good luck maintaining that frame rate. So 1080p medium plus 30 FPS cap Riva tuner. And that should give you an okay experience. The game should look decent enough. It should have shadows, it should have grass, trees, good amount of 3D model quality. And with the 30 FPS cap, the stutters are not that noticeable. They are noticeable, but not that noticeable. You have some GPU power to spare, maybe 720p. Yeah, we're trying other resolutions, but I want to make the best experience first. Which, again, in my opinion, RTS games, when you have to click on things, you don't need 60 frames. I mean, it won't look smooth when moving the camera, but it's playable at 30 frames, at least in my opinion. Like Crysis Remastered, the game has its own software ray tracing technique. No, it doesn't have ray tracing, as far as I know. Okay. So again, now we have shadows, acceptable 3D models, but there is 3D grass that wasn't there before. But as you can see, again, moving the camera is an issue. So open Riva Tuner, put a 30 frames per second cap, as you can see, flat 33.3 milliseconds because we have GPU power to spare. And when you move the camera, it will stutter, but it won't be as jarring to the eye as with unlocked frame rates. So it's better to play like this, at least in my opinion. Imagine ray tracing on an RTS game, yeah, that would be weird, without a doubt. I mean, it would be a waste, at least in my opinion, to put ray tracing on a game like this. I mean, you can use it for the water and everything, so it reflects all those characters. I don't know, but that feels like a waste of resources. Yeah, Crysis Remastered does have its own ray tracing software solution, but this one does not feature ray tracing. That's funny. Both are trying to cross at the same time. Aún no, Pablo, viene después de esto. So yeah, this will be my best settings, guys. 1080p medium, 30 FPS cap with Riva tuner, and yeah, that should do. You get 30 frames when you move the camera. Yeah, it's a little bit stuttery. So yeah, RTX is not the same as RTS. Come on, guys. Jesus. Die. I love how the cannons just hurt 2 or 3 enemy units there. Oh, Jesus. We're screwed. No, my cannons! Dang it. The water will reflect the sun and the sky. Imagine if the water reflected your camera, your face in the game. You're playing an RTS game and all of a sudden you look at the water puddle and you see your face. That would be the best ray tracing. It transcends reality. Send you an email. Thanks, Paradise TK. I appreciate that, man. Viking City Builder game will be the first game to utilize RTX in an RTS game. That's interesting. What are they reflecting? I mean, they're using for the shadows, for the reflections, for the ambient occlusion. What is the objective of RTX in that game? It shows you, yeah, imagine that. That would be scary as hell. Oh, I have no soldiers on my tower. My bad. And this guy is just standing around there like nothing is happening. So yeah, this would be, again, the best way, at least in my opinion, to play the game on a 1050 Ti. Then if you want 60 frames, well, low settings, lock it to 60, but it'll still stutter. That's what I'm trying to say. So until they fix that with the engine, we're kinda screwed on the no stutter department. Okay, kill them all. And I need a cannon to destroy the door, but I don't have one. They destroyed it. So I'm just going to enter with the tower. What can the CUDA cores do? A lot of things. Look it up on Google. This game can take a lot of space if you install the 4K textures. Yeah, I don't need them, I think. We're good. The thing I didn't install is the 4K cinematics. I don't think I need those. Se siente raro, Johan. Muy raro. Pero bienvenido. A surprise but a welcome one. Okay. Anyway, so this will be my best configuration again for the 1050 Ti. Put the graphics on 1080p high, sorry, 1080p medium on image quality. After you put the settings like this and anti-aliasing on low, after you do this, restart the game. Okay, we can lock the frame rate here actually. Let's try that. And after you restart the game, you should have pretty good frame times, even when moving the camera. Yeah, the in-game the FPS lock inside the game is terrible. So don't use that. Just use a Riva Tuner FPS cap, like this. I have a hotkey to make it work. And as you can see there, frame time is almost completely flat. Again, if you have Riva Tuner free software, you can find it here. Come on. Come on, game. As you can see, just put 30 here and you're good to go. Let's try 60s now. Sí, tal cual, Hiro. Yeah, Riva Tuner is a godsend, I agree. I mean, look at this. Just, I press a button and it's locked 33.3. So yeah, it's way smoother, without a doubt. Let's try 60s now. For that, we're lowering the resolution, so let's keep it on medium and let's lower it to 720p. Where's 720? Okay, 712p. I think that is not enough though. Yeah, 723p. So should be 720p medium with a 60 frames cap on Riva Tuner, and that should do. So my base resolution is 1080p, it's upscaled from 723p, which is basically 720p. Medium image quality, this is super important, put it on medium please. This affects the entire game. And then the rest, put all this on medium and anti-aliasing on low. That should do the job. Let's see if it's 60 frames. Alright, yeah, some stutters. Very noticeable, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, this is not working. I mean, the frame time, with a frame time like that is so bad. Let's try lowering the resolution directly, that might help. Okay, thanks Paradise UK, I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Let's try it like this, without lowering the resolution scale. Let's lower the entire frame buffer. Yeah, still. That's ridiculous. I mean, come on. It's only using one core, more than 50%. I cannot believe this. And if I unlock the frame rate, well, good luck. What a shame. And what can you do? Yo guys, 1063 gigs worth getting right now. I'm getting it cheap. If it's very cheap, go for it. But those 3 gigs of VRAM are a huge limitation nowadays. Especially now that games are using more and more VRAM.
When facing enemy.
So yeah, if you can get it very cheap, yeah sure, go for it. We're in difficult times for GPUs. Okay, 720p medium. It's over 60 now. So that's good. But the thing is, again, when the battle starts and you move the camera around, it drops below 60. I feel like 60GB should be the minimum nowadays. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, that's pretty difficult to come by for a good price right now. Yeah, for current and future games, it's difficult with 3GB. I mean, all the games I tested this year, new games, higher end stuff, uses more than 3 gigs right away. even on low textures, so it's kind of crazy how much they use. Okay. So yeah, keep that in mind. That's important. The VRAM is more important than you guys think. Especially now with the newer APIs. It's kind of crazy how much they affect the gaming experience. But look at that frame time, guys. What the hell? Just play at 30 frames. That's kind of my verdict on this one. Just play at 30 frames.
Your enemies are now
It's not worth losing performance for 60 frames in an RTS game, at least in my opinion. I mean, it's way worse on low settings. You can get 60s on low, yeah. But the visual hit is so high on low. If you don't have enough VRAM, the game is going to stutter like crazy, I agree. Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Especially, well, you can see that on Resident Evil Village. With 2 gigs of VRAM, certain parts of the game are below 30 frames all the time. Some parts. Yeah, the 1060 is still solid, I agree. I mean, a lot of VRAM. I would love more better DX12 configurations, better DX12 compatibility, that's the correct word. So yeah. Destroy the wall! There we go. But yeah, that frame time, guys, is completely unacceptable. I mean, again, I'd rather play at 30 frames locked than having a frame time like this. I mean, look at that. That's insane. Even if I lock the frame rate, it happens at 60 frames. So they need the game to be more multi-threaded, I would say. I mean, the GPU usage is dropping. The CPU is using a couple threads at 40-something%. So yeah, they need to improve that, I think. But overall, if you can play at 30 frames, you should be fine. Just lock it to 30. Maybe 40 or 50 locked. Okay, let's try that. Let's try 45. 45 might be a good sweet spot. Let's see. 45. Hang on. Okay, 45. Still happens. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. It's obviously something to do with sounds, but even with the 45 FPS lock, I still get those terrible frame times. And if I lock it to 30, yeah, I still get them. What the hell? Now even at 30 it stutters. I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, let's swap GPUs, shall we? I had enough. Yeah, we've been 40 minutes on the same card. Let's try high settings first on the fancy. So I put everything on high. Let's see if we can get 30 frames with better graphics. And then we'll see what we do. Well, that's kind of odd. What software do you use to edit and how long, say, 15 minutes take to render? Well, that depends a lot, really. I use a Ryzen 5 3600 to render videos, and I use, what else? A GTX 1650. And using the H.264 encoder with the Nvidia encoder at the same time, the NVENC thing. If the video is like 15 minutes at 1440p, it's like 13 minutes of render. It renders very fast with GPU. Okay, time for the 570. Wish me luck. I forgot to delete the drivers. We're doing that in a minute. Won't take long. Good thing I'm ready for that. This game is pretty badly optimized, so yeah, they need to be more multi-threaded, and I think on the GPU side, when moving the camera, the GPU usage spikes like crazy, and that makes us drop frames, and the frame time is pretty bad. I don't know what's wrong with the frame time, really. But I saw a lot of people complaining about it, so Yeah, the thing is, at least being an RTS game, you don't need 60 frames like on Call of Duty that you need to move the camera super quickly. It's just clicking on things, but still, at least I want a consistent frame time. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for the bare minimum. Do a background image at the Windows desktop affect the FPS? No, it shouldn't. Unless it moves. If it moves, well, that could have a lot of variables to it. Okay, we clean and restart. Yeah, RX 570, hell yeah. Here it comes. Yeah, I agree with Team Perspectiva. That's kind of the way to go. If it's a picture, it's fine. You don't get any problems. The thing is, when it's animated, well, in that case, it can affect performance depending on what software it is. I like using Wallpaper Engine. That one, I mean, I'm not using it on my gaming PC, I use it on my streaming PC. And that turns off when my game is in full screen, so it doesn't affect performance in that way. So yeah, Wallpaper Engine I can recommend. What are the GTX mains? Oh, look it up. I mean, GTX and RTX are just brand names, really, for the different models of GPUs on the Nvidia side. But they also call RTX to the ray tracing technology, which I think is very difficult to separate there, but GTX is just a branding name. They could call them GTX 3080 and it would still be ray tracing compatible. So yeah, it's more marketing purposes. One thing is the name and the other one the technology. Anyway, here we go. Installing the AMD drivers. We're going to do... What do you mean? Run it, Windows. Come on, you can do this. It's just drivers. So we're going to do 1080p high settings on the 570. That's hilarious, Mark. RTS games just don't make much money anymore because they can be released on consoles. They can't be released on consoles. Well, they said they're going to release it on the Xbox in a few months, I think. The thing with RTS games on consoles is the controls, I think. It's such a keyboard and mouse perfect combination. Your game of the year this year, Kena Bridge of Spirits, I think. Okay. Is the RTX 3050 any good? I think it's only on laptops. Should be okay. I mean, if you want to play some games, should be fine. Alright. Now, minimal install. I don't want the recording software. Alright. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Even my 1066 gigs VRAM wasn't enough in Crysis Remastered on extreme settings 1080p and the game stuttered a little bit and encountered some FPS drops. What's your CPU? That matters a lot in that game. Of course, still a good card. Ray Tracing Texel Extreme is RTX and GTX is Giga Texel Shader Extreme. Is that for real? That's insane, if that's true. I didn't know that. The other new Resident Evil games surely consumes a lot of memory. Yeah, the RE Engine games are super VRAM intensive. But they run so well if you have enough VRAM, it's kinda crazy. You're playing Battlefield 5 at 360p 10 FPS, that's the perfect way, man. There's no other way to experience Battlefield 5. Okay, it seems that we are good now. Let's open the software. Whoa, black screen, good. That means it detected something new. Can I stream using recording software on my GPU? Yeah, you can. Should be fine. That should be an option in your GPU's menu. Oh, I forgot about something. I need to tweak the colors because my capture card is very picky about that. Let me restart the computer. I think I need to do that. Let me check. Full RGB is necessary for my capture card for some reason. There we go. What do you think about GTA Trilogy Remastered? Are you impressed? Yeah, actually, I am impressed about the fact that they made the 3 games in a completely different engine. That was kind of what I was scared about. I thought it was going to be more of the same engine as before, but with better graphics. And gladly they used Unreal Engine 4, but the thing is, it looks a little too cartoony. The issue is, when I played those games for the first time as a kid, to me they look realistic, so seeing them cartoony is kind of weird, because I thought those were realistic back in the day, so it's weird to see them take that route. But I like that they stay true to the originals in that regard. I think it looks good. What matters to me the most in that trilogy will be the controls. Hopefully it controls like GTA 5 or something. If it controls like the older games, oh man, it's going to be dreadful in that case. Hey, what will the first GTA game that you'll test? I'll test GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas, and then on the consoles I'll do San Andreas. But I want to check the 3 of them very quickly. Okay, 1080p high, as you can see, on the 570. Let's see how that goes. I'm guessing that medium will be the way to go, but hey, let's see. Yeah, they look cartoony, but again, I think that's the artistic choice, because when I was a kid I thought they were realistic, but looking at them nowadays, they look kinda cartoony, the original games. A little bit darker, but maybe a little bit too saturated on the remaster. But that's about it. And Unreal Engine 4 means way less issues, like on the previous engine. No silent patch, no mods to make the game launch. It should work right away on modern systems. That's what I want. There will be 3 separate games or only 1 launcher. I have no idea. What bothers me is that on PC you only have the Rockstar thing, the Rockstar... The only option is the Rockstar Social Club. So yeah, hang on. Jesus.
Your resources are limited.
Okay, when I move the camera, still happens. Gotcha. What else?
Research additional siege technologies at the madrasa.
Let's see a 30 frames lock.
Every second spent waiting.
Okay, with a 30 frames lock is a little bit better. So maybe if you want 30 frames, high settings is the way to go. When I was a kid, River Raid was realistic. River Raid, I don't know what that is. Sorry if I made you feel old. So yeah, in the past everything was realistic. I remember playing Pepsi Man and thinking, man, this looks so realistic. Looks like real life, it's incredible, graphics cannot get better. And I was playing Pepsi Man on the PlayStation 1. And I love that they tried to go together through the bridge. That's hilarious. It's early 80s. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I was born 15 years later, so... Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. The CPU actually doesn't matter on extreme settings in Crysis Remastered. Yeah, I mean, but they push the engine to the absolute limit. It's like, okay, see the limit in draw distance, ignore that. Just render everything. That definitely has to break the engine or something. Okay, let's destroy the wall. Yeah, but that frame time, holy hell, man. Yeah, the frame time is a nightmare on this. Pepsi Man is legendary, the dash is so satisfying, hell yeah. I was so terrible at Pepsi Man though. Not sure if it was because I was a kid or because I was bad at the game. But as you can see when I'm fighting here, it's over 30 but the frame times are terrible. You're 41, that's fine. That's a good age. You can basically do whatever you want, right? Como el Far Cry 6 en Ultra corre más fluido. Sí, literal. No tengo idea. Magia negra. Let's try a 30 frames per second lock. Yeah, it still stutters with 30 frames. I think I need to lower the physics a little bit. Yeah, that doesn't work. F, you're 37. Well, 37 is kind of close, but not quite. So, image quality, we put it on high. Let's put it now on medium. Maybe medium is closer to 60, I do not know. What bothers me, again, is that you have to restart the game with almost everything that you change, which I think is ridiculous. But hey, let's try medium. Maybe with the 578 gigs will be better. No, I don't think so. It doesn't seem to be VRAM limited. It seems to be more of a GPU usage thing. More VRAM in this case shouldn't make a difference, unless you're using the crazy high-end textures, which I couldn't find. Xbox Series S is way faster than a 1070 with Game Pass. What do you mean? It depends on the game, I think. Some games are pretty terrible on PC with the new DX12's implementations. On cards before the 16 series, I mean. Let's see, medium settings. Can I test Hearts of Iron 4? Is that a new game or is it old? I haven't heard about it. Will my 1030 run Crysis? Yeah, it will. Crysis can run on everything nowadays, I think.
When facing enemy wall.
Alright. Okay, I have a little bit more hope now. Okay, medium settings. Let's do a 60 frames cap.
Your resources are limited.
Okay.
So think carefully before deciding which siege engines to
I think medium is the way to go.
You can also research
Definitely.
additional siege technologies at the Madrasa. The Delhi Sultanate's version.
Just arrived. Is this game more demanding than it should? I think so. But at the same time, my main issue is the consistency. It's just not there. It's inconsistent as heck. That's what bothers me. When moving the camera, well, as you can see, you drop frames like crazy. The frame time is inconsistent. But I mean, if you look into 6 to 30, better said, the frame time should be better. Let's see if I look into 60 like that. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be fixing the issue quite a bit. So let's call this 60 FPS cap. We have a tuner. So yeah, by using that program, just lock it to 60. That should help. So crossing the bridge together. As I was saying, by doing that, you should have less stutter. It still happens. Not sure why. But it should make it more playable. That's what I'm trying to say. Although with these settings, I think we are not good to go yet. Physics on low. Yeah, everything is how it should be. Not sure why it's so difficult to avoid stutter in this game.
Your enemies are now sallying forth from their walls.
Is your name actually Santiago ×2? Yeah, it is. It is my name since the day I was born. I was squared Santiago. Are you going to test other games compatible with FSR? Yeah, I want to do so. I mean, as soon as games get FSR, I try to test them. Not every time I can do it like consistently. I usually do it on bigger games because FSR is a pretty simple technology. It's just, okay, it's going to be X resolution at X frame rate, and it's usually the same thing but on different games. Some games do it better than others, don't get me wrong, but still. Okay, it's not so bad now with the 60 frames cap. It still spikes like crazy, but it's more manageable. I might play like this on the 570. If I only had a 570, I'll probably use these settings. Just remember to lock the frame rate to 60. How is that wooden thing moving? I don't know. But there it is. doing its job. It has 0 shoulders on it, but it moves on its own. Okay, now the frame time is bad again. It's always when I break this wall. Maybe the town? I'm kinda confused. But I need to work on that. Especially when I move the camera again. Moving the camera kills the frame rate. And they said it was an engine limitation or something like that, so maybe in the future they do that. But as of right now, I mean, look at this! FSR works best when not many effects and movement is going on in the game. I agree. And when it's a native implementation. But yeah, look at this. When I get into the town, the frame time doesn't like that. Let's see a 30 frames cap. Yeah, it still happens. That's so weird. Anyway. Again, on the 570 I would probably play it like this. Medium settings, a 60 frames per second cap. Yeah, you're going to get spikes in the towns. But that's as good as it gets, really. In this case, a 30 frames cap doesn't seem to do anything. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an engine limitation because it's not using all the hardware. And if I unlock the frame rate, yeah, it still stutters. Hopefully in the future they fix this up, but it's kind of crazy that this game runs like this. I'm just asking for consistency, nothing else. Yeah, exactly, Paradise Decay. The rendering of the elephant poop is very taxing on the GPU. I never thought I would say that out loud, but there I am. Yeah, this needs work. Let's do low settings. Again, low settings, using the low preset, uses a different way to render the game. There's no grass, there's worse 3D models, there's no shadows, even if they are on low. So yeah, the presets are like 3 different ways to handle the game. On low there's no shadows, there's no grass, there's no nothing. On medium you got 3D grass, you got trees, you got better 3D models and shadows. And on high there's more bells and whistles, but I cannot really notice that much. I think it's the ambient occlusion and overall textures. But then if you put it on low, again, everything's missing. It's like the floor is a flat texture, which is a good option, but it's way more performance. I mean, it goes like over 100 FPS. I wish there was more scalability. You either have terrible graphics or decent graphics. So you either play at low settings with over 100 FPS or medium settings between 30 and 60. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. There has to be an in-between. That's kind of what's missing here, an in-between. I mean, I would like to have 3D grass, some shadows, and okay 3D models, but that's not an option. I mean, look at this. If I put it on low, it's 200 frames per second. But I have no option to, if I'm using this preset, I have no option to enable shadows, no option to have 3D grass. And look at the frame rate. It's over 100 frames. So you either get this graphics or better graphics, but nowhere close to 60 consistently. So that's what's missing. I mean, what bothers me the most is that you have to put it on low on image quality, but you get rid of all the grass and the shadows. Even if I crank up the shadows here, it doesn't matter. It still doesn't have shadows. I mean, there's no shadows still. So again, it's either the low image quality option that removes all the fancy effects, or 30 frames with stutters with a little bit of graphics. A little bit of graphics, way better graphics than this. So yeah, there's no middle point. It reminds me of when Crysis 1 on PC. If you play it on Ultra, it looks amazing. If you play it on low, it looks worse than Far Cry 1. It's kind of insane. Can you group units with control plus numbers? Let's see. Apparently yes. Not sure if this is what you mean. Let me see. Control 2. Yeah, you can. If I pressed 1, I get these machines. If I press 2, it's some machines and some soldiers. That's a good trick though. Didn't know I could do that. Control 3. I want this to be only 2. I want the elephants and those spears to be 1. That's neat. And this... and the cannon will be 5. Yeah, I like that. That's much better for control. I can now control the game in a way smoother manner, without a doubt. That's insane. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. Even just normal maps for grass on low would have been nice. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, it feels like the very minimum. And the frame time stutters are still there. Jesus Christ. Let me see if with a 60 frames cap, if that fixes the issues. Yeah, no, even with a 60 frames cap, I still get frame time spikes. What the heck? What is wrong with this game? 30 frames cap. Yeah, still spikes. Why? That makes no sense at all. Okay, after a few seconds of 30 frames, it appears to be fine. Let's see. But still, this is 30 frames on low settings. Let's see 60. Yeah, on 60 frames it's impossible to have a consistent frame time. So it's probably 30 frames or go home. Ezequiel, le falta pulir, definitivamente. Yeah, if I log it to 30 like this, the frame time is fine. It has some spikes, yeah, but it's way better than when at 60 that you get those bigger spikes, and well, with unlocked frame rates, it's even worse. But
Enemy town center lies within range.
yeah, no, something is off. They definitely need to look into that. Doesn't make any sense. It's not even using my entire system. It's using core number 2 at 80%. Now it's not dropping to 56 FPS on low. I lock it to 60 with this button. But if I lock it to 60, it still stutters, so it doesn't make sense. We have a lot of GPU power to spare. So yeah, if I keep it on low like this, with unlocked frame rates, still doesn't use all my GPU. And it's using one core. One core at 80%, another core at 33, and another one at 50. But that's about it. So yeah, I'm confused. They need to work on this, definitely. Something needs to be done. Let's go back to high. And let's swap to the 1650 Super. So, high. Textures on high. Physics on high as well. Anti-aliasing on high. This is just to swap GPUs. Okay, we save that. We quit the game. Let's remove the drivers and install the Nvidia drivers, shall we? Oh, what a shame. Yeah, sure, let's download the latest one, the latest DDU. Yeah, the stutters are consistent. I mean, it's very easy to reproduce, so there's definitely an issue with the game itself. Because even removing drivers still happened. Clean and shut down. Yeah, I mean, and it's consistent because when it's 30 frames, the stutters are smaller and take longer to happen. When it's 60, it takes a little bit longer to happen with the stutters. And when it's over 100 FPS, the stutters take a little bit longer to show up, so it's something that is scaling with the frame rate. It's definitely something they need to look into. Test Guardians of the Galaxy, I already did it. You can find it in my channel. So RX 570 with i3-8100 is enough to play at 60 frames? I don't think so. I mean, it's only 4 cores and 4 threads. You should be able to lock it to 60, but there will be stutters like it happened to me. I have a 4-core thread i3, which is kind of like your i3 but with hyper-threading, which is 4 cores, 8 threads. And the game is only using a couple cores, so it shouldn't be super different. It should be pretty similar to what I'm experiencing in here. Alright, time to swap GPUs. Let's do 1650 Super. Good job, 570. 1650 Super. There we go. Time to install drivers. But yeah, the developers already said they're working on fixes, especially for the camera movement and the CPU utilization. Again, it's using just a couple cores, one to 80% and the other one to 50%. So again, 4 cores, 4 threads should be enough. Should be running almost the same as me. It all depends on single-threaded performance at that point. So yeah, try Age of Empires 1, you'll get 400 FPS, hell yeah. The PC gamer experience with an FOV slider, looking at the entire map at once. Each pixel is a village. Let's release broken game, we'll fix it later, that's familiar, yeah. I mean, I don't remember a live stream where I'm not complaining about something on the PC performance or the PC port. There's always something. It's very difficult to find something on a good shape on day one. I don't remember. No mate? No, not today. I forgot to make it. So yeah. I usually drink mate on Sundays because I don't have much to do on the day, so I go walk around with my mate and my girlfriend. And I usually like drinking mate with somebody from my family or my girlfriend, walking around. That's usually what I like to do when I'm drinking mate. It's kind of a, I don't know, like a chilling thing. You drink water so much. Yeah, I need to do it. My body doesn't work if I don't drink water. Yeah, I've been drinking like almost over 2 liters, I think, today. I drink mate with my mates. Exactly. That's how you do it. Yeah. No doubt about it. That's the way to do it. Probably Far Cry 6 was good release from a technical point of view. Well, not exactly. The thing with Far Cry 6 is that if you wanted to get over 100 FPS, the engine was using like a couple cores maxed out. Yeah, I'm a Hydro homie. Hell yeah. Hydro homie for the win. Alright. Drivers should be installed. Let's open up MSI, Afterburner. There it is, 1650 Super. With the game ready drivers, let's go. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy on Xbox One. Yeah, I don't have it on Xbox One, but I might get it in the future, if I'm lucky enough. I'm guessing that I'll be able to test it later. That's good to drink all the water. I do the same. I always have 1.5 to 2 liters bottle next to me when playing games. Yeah, that's great. That's how you do it. Pa, no sé qué es eso, Prospector. ¿Qué es eso? You drink tea? That's valid. That's a valid option. Hang on, I don't have any audio for some reason. One sec. You drink whiskey? That's that's unexpected. Said no one ever. Okay, now I have audio. Good. So we're starting with high settings on 1080p. So let's go. 1650 Super. Do you drink alcohol? Not anymore. I got bored about it. And it wasn't good for me. It's not fun anymore. Your text says 1080p Hig. Oh. Thanks, man. I missed that. 1080p Hig. Hig settings. Whatever that means. It's actually a good game. I do not know. I'm not into RTS stuff, and Age of Empires, I played the second one like a decade ago, so I don't remember much. And I was more like an Empire Earth type of guy. I was playing the competition. Alright. Definitely running better than the 570. I'm getting 60s on high settings instead of medium. But the moving the camera bug still happens. Dang it.
Which siege engines to deploy. You can also research additional siege technologies
That sucks.
at the madrasa, the Delhi Sultanate's version of the university. Every second spent waiting
Let's make
for
a
these
tower.
technologies to complete, however, is a second lost towards earning a medal.
Yeah, sure, let's move. You guys go into that tower. I love how that tower moves in such a weird way. And all these machines, all of you go together through the bridge. Look at this, I love that machines do this. It's so hilarious to see it in motion. All three try to go through the bridge together. Look at this. No, Empire Earth. I love this. This is hilarious. Developers, do not fix this. This looks great. I remember almost 90% of the Facebook games wanted to be Age of Empires. Kinda makes sense. Could be way more addicting.
Your enemies are now sallying forth from their walls.
Okay, here they come. You machines attack the tower in the center, but as you can see, same issue as before. The frame time, spiky. Nice and spiky. And if I lock it to 30, let's lock it to 30. 30 FPS cap, private tuner. Whoa.
With its walls in ruins.
If you lock it to 30, it seems to be fine. Yeah, okay. On this card, you can do high settings at 30 frames per second. The stutters appear to be fixed by locking it to 30. The same happened with the 1050 Ti, but on medium settings 1080p. So it's a good improvement over the 1050 Ti. The Nvidia cards appear to be holding 30 just fine. On the AMD card, even 30 frames had stutters. So that's a problem, definitely. Could the frame rate issues be the fog of war shadows? Maybe. Yeah, that could be related. But the developer said it was something along the lines of how the engine handles the camera. But I mean, with a 30 frame per second lock, on the Nvidia cards it appears to be fine. You have enough GPU power to do lock 30s. So yeah. Interesting. So yeah, maybe if you had a 1650 Super, I would advise you to do a 30 frames cap with Riva Tuner and high settings, and that should do. RTX 3050 laptop and which desktop GPU it compares? That's a good question. Probably should be close to a 2060, maybe a little bit behind, right? I don't know, because I haven't checked any GPU reviews, because they're so expensive that I'm not paying attention to that. Okay, never mind, the frame time is bad again. Yeah, it's probably the fog of war. But even if I get away from it, it still does the same thing. No, this is the Windows Store version, the Game Pass version. Maybe the Steam version runs better, but I don't have a way to test that. I think most people will play the Windows Store version, in my opinion. So yeah. Compare hardware unbox videos on both Metro Exodus. Gotcha. So what was it? Close to a 1070? Big bummer, there's no cheat codes for this entry. There's no cheat codes. What the hell? Oh, that takes all the fun away. Okay. And if I remove the frame rates cap, as you can see, it still stutters, but it's more noticeable. But it happens in the same amount of time. I mean, look at those spikes. They're so consistently spiking in the same place. I don't know. Yeah, they will still be overpriced next year. Yeah. It will be funny that a Microsoft game runs worse at their own store than in Steam. That would be hilarious. Well, that's maybe the case. Who knows? Anyway. But what a shame about the cheat codes. That hurt me. What the hell? What do you mean no cheat codes in an RTS game? I mean, after playing seriously, I like screwing around with cheats in video games. That's a shame. Let's try medium. There's heavy censorship. What the hell? In a game about war. That's hilarious. Okay, we're trying medium now. 1070 equals 770, 950, 670, 1650, 970. Makes sense. It's kind of like that, yeah. But what about the 3050? The 15 Nvidia GPU has the same performance as of the generations past 70. Yeah, but not always, I think. The 1050 was more like a 760 than a 7070. Than a 770, Jesus, those numbers. That's a good one, Roger. You need a Cobra card to defeat the other empires. Hell yeah. Oh man, I loved that when I was a kid. Okay, 3050 laptop, kinda like a 1070 or slower. Gotcha. Not a huge improvement then. Over the 1650 Super. What a waste. And I think the computer froze. Let's check that out. Oh, never mind. Okay. Nice. So medium settings, 1080p, texture detail medium, I said, not high. Let's try that again. 3050 below 1660, 20 to 30% faster than a 1650. Makes sense. Still, what a waste. What a waste, because it could have been a good desktop card. But hey, with the silicon shortages, I kind of understand.
When facing enemy walls,
especially now that we do a lot of remote work in comparison to the past. Okay, medium settings. As you can see, from high to medium, we get like a 25 frame per second boost. We jump from 60 frames all the way up to 88. So after this, once we start fighting, we're going to be doing a 60 frames per second cap. Let's see if we can keep it there. Probably not, but it's nice to give it a shot, in my opinion. So yeah. Hello, Popopicos, ¿todo bien? Hello. Cheats will be added post-launch. Everything is going to be added post-launch. What the hell? They are doing everything on a rush. But I kind of get it, because all of the pandemic stuff probably slowed down a lot of games, a lot of delays. Which again, makes sense, considering the situation, but at the same time, I mean, release something that works properly, please. I mean, for me at least, personally, I like when games release broken, in a broken state, because I can test them again, so I have more content to make on the same thing. So, for example, Resident Evil Village had a lot of issues with stutter. They had like 2 or 3 patches. Well, that meant for me 2 or 3 more videos about the game. One talking about how bad it runs, another one talking about the first patch. Okay, it's a little bit better. And then another one saying, hey guys, the game is fixed. So, at least for me, it's a good thing if the game is broken, because I can make more content in the future. but I still do not like that way, the way that it works, because it feels lazy. Because you're paying for that content. This is not that free content.
Enemy town center lies within
Is that Paul Bettany voice? I don't know. I don't know who that is. But if you guys know, tell him in the comments. I have no idea. It sounds like a National Geographic. one of those that narrates National Geographic documentaries. One of those commentators feels like, yeah. Para 570 rebobina, era medio o alto a 30 FPS. Sí, alto a 30 FPS. I will watch all 3 of those videos. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, man. You're the best of the best. And as you can see, still stutters. So let's lock it to 60 with Riva Tuner. Hang on. Okay, it's not working, my 6 FPS cap. Not sure why. Let's try that again. Y vos también, Raciel. Si es que así te llamas, no tengo idea. 0, 60. Let's try that again. Can you imagine? Do you think I can achieve 144 with my 5600 XT all high? In this game, not a chance in hell. In my opinion, of course. Okay, I cannot lock the frame rates. I think I broke something on my computer. I know, it's just Riva Tuner not doing its job. That's fine. But I don't think a 60 frames cap is going to fix this. Weren't all the updates for Cyberpunk delayed to 2022? No, they were delayed till 2077, I'm pretty sure. Nah, but the next gen patch should be on 2022. And the Witcher 3 next gen edition is going to come 2022 as well. Okay, there we go. 6 FPS cap. So now 60 FPS cap. We have a tuner. So yeah, as you can see, even when nothing is happening, I'm just standing there. I mean, the frame time is spiking, no matter what. Even if I lock it to 30. Still spikes. You're watching a 120-inch 4K projector right now. Jesus. Weird flex, but okay. Nah, I'm kidding. I mean, do projectors look good? I'm probably always watch crappy projectors, because I cannot imagine a projector looking good. I feel like it would be blurry. Estudié Emiliano y después seguí por mi cuenta. Hice hasta el first. It's like Nvidia PhysX. No, I think PhysX runs better. Yeah, something doesn't make sense here. It shouldn't be like this. This is definitely not expected behavior. So my advice for this, guys, is high settings, lock it to 60 with Riva Tuner. Sorry, lock it to 30 with Riva Tuner. And if you want 60s, well, put it on medium, lock it to 60, enjoy the stutter. And when you move the camera, you're dropping frames. So yeah. Okay, bad signal outside at night. That's a good way to play. They already know when you power on your console. So yeah, again, if you want 60 frames, my advice, medium settings, 1080p, lock it to 60, you're going to get stutters on Siege, on a Siege. But it should be smoother overall. Then if you want 30s, put it on high, everything on high, and that should do. And I'm going to show you low just to show you the performance difference is kind of insane. On low settings, you cannot use shadows, there's no 3D grass, there's nothing. It's like 2 generations back. But at the same time, it's a way to get better performance if your GPU is not good. The thing is, you still get stutter on low settings. You need a cinema in your house for projectors to look good. Yes, and they got much better in input lag for video games too. That's nice to know. They're probably pretty expensive as well, but if you can put it on 120 inches, it's gigantic, it's insane. I wouldn't have space for such a projector. I remember playing GTA San Andreas on 12 FPS, but back then it was smooth. Yeah, but at least it was consistent. That's kind of the only thing I ask for, consistency. Give me a flat frame time, and you got me. In this case, it's so frequent that it's distracting. No, I haven't, Dark Master. I haven't been playing much at all. I've been playing a little bit of Half-Life Alyx. It feels so good to aim your gun in the game. So yeah. Okay, let me show you low settings. 1 FPS, but 1 really consistent FPS. Hell yeah. That's how you do it. So yeah. Okay, loaded. Do you have a parrot in the background? Good question. I think that's just a saw. Somebody using a saw. Oh no, that's a siren in the background.
Resources are limited.
It's just ambient sound. I'm in the middle of the city.
You can also research.
Would you benchmark Forza Horizon 5? Hell yeah. I'm super hyped for that one. Suena por Alice de fondo, sí. Es la camioneta de las garrafas. Yeah, there's a company that sells gas. The one that you use for your oven. And they put that music in the background. So people know that they are in the vicinity and they can buy the gas for the oven. So they put that music. Flat frame time, yes. Flat frame, no. Exactly. For some reason it sounded like 1. No worries, man. But as you can see on low, no grass, no shadows. It's like a decade old on low settings. But it's more consistent when moving the camera, which is good. But the thing is, when we start fighting, the frame time will once again die on us. Look at this. It starts doing its thing and still issues with the frame time, even on low settings. So yeah, there's definitely something going on with the game itself. Although it eats 1.2 gigs of VRAM, there's nothing. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the frame time, the thing with the frame time is still happening. Let me lock it to 60 for you. If I lock it to 60, again, still stutters. I lock it to 30, it doesn't stutter. Okay. That's weird. Never mind, there you are. Smaller stutters, but they're still there. So yeah. And on low settings, if you unlock the frame rate, it's looking half. It's using half my GPU. It's not even using all the GPU. It still stutters. So yeah. No se ve tan mal en low, pero igual quiero que sea consistente por lo menos. Yeah, on low it doesn't look that bad. It definitely looks worse. But the performance, yeah, it's way better. But the stutter is still there. So yeah, I don't know, I'm confused. Did you use keyboard and mouse with RPCS3 or just a controller? I used an Xbox controller on the PS3 emulator. Usually mouse and keyboard on emulators isn't particularly great, so I tend to stick to that, to controllers in that case. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's try the 750 Ti super quick, just to see if the game launches on legacy hardware. Let's see if it requires a physical DX12 on your GPU. 1 sec. Here it is, 750 Ti. Bye bye, 1650, super. Legendary card, it's your turn. Here we go, getting ready. The king entered the battlefield. A little bit late, but hey, well, happy to see you here, man. Welcome, Jesper. It's been a while. Yeah, at least the game has consistent spikes in the frame time. Yeah, the spikes happen at the same time each time. So yeah, at least the spiking is consistent. Let's see, will it run Age of Empires 4? At least 1 FPS. At least let me enter the game, please. Exacto, Hermes. Agua de los dioses del Olimpo. Yeah, water from the gods of thunder. Yeah. That allows me to have more than 2 GPUs at once. It allows me to crossfire 7 GPUs that are all different. Okay. The drivers should be ready. Let's go back. Here it comes, the legendary card. Doesn't even launch. Let's find out. Here we go. Getting ready. Come on. Moment of truth. Will it launch Age of Empires? Come on. Okay. We got a cursor, that's good. Okay, it launches. Nice. I'm going to go for low right away. Should be more than enough for 60 frames, at least on the low preset. On medium, well, that's another story. So yeah, the 750 Ti can do it. Mind blown. It can launch the game. So let's play on low. As you can see, everything is lower to the minimum. But we're on 1080p. Let's go back to Art of War, Late Siege. Boom, let's go. Around the RX 580, but half the power consumption. Hell yeah. Yeah, something like that. Although I wish we had an 8GB 1650 Super. That would be nice. That would be a perfect card right now. Okay. Yeah, 100 FPS on low settings. This game is so not demanding. Okay. Over 60 frames on low settings 1080p. The thing is, if you go to medium, it's probably going to drop below 30.
Resources are limited, so think carefully.
So yeah, if you want to play the game, you can actually do it.
You can also research additional siege technologies at the madrasa, the Delhi
So yeah,
Sultanate's
good
version
stuff.
of the university.
Good job 750 Ti.
Spent waiting for these technologies to
I never doubted you for a single instant.
medal.
We get closer. We wait for the machines to arrive. Come on, machines, go through the bridge. ¿Con la 1050 andará? Sí, por supuesto. La 1050 va a irlo más bien. Okay, we're under attack. Attack! Kill them all! There we go, they cross the bridge. But the frame time spikes are still there, as you can see. But I thought that the game wasn't going to launch. Some DX12 games refuse to launch in cards like this, so that's a nice surprise. Once they fix the frame time spikes, we'll be good. You guys fall back. We need to destroy the door. The legend lives on. So yeah, the immortal card still cannot die. It still respawns after death. That's insane, guys. I still cannot believe I can still launch games on this card. It's ridiculous that I can still do it. I mean, it released in 2014 for $150 MSRP. And I can still play games. That's insane. Sí, vamos a probar media hora. Yeah guys, we're trying medium after this, but as you can see the frame times are still bad, so it's probably something to do with the game itself, not the hardware. Let's try medium, just to have some shadows and some grass going on. So everything on low, but the image quality option will be on medium. So this is 1080p low. Image quality on mid. What this means is when you're moving this option up and down, on medium it adds 3D grass, better 3D models, it adds shadows, which are missing if you put this on low. So it's kind of a different way to render the game, basically. So let's try medium. Medium on image quality, which means, again, shadows are casted. Are cast or are casted? Is casted a word? No, it's probably cast. Shadows are cast on the 3D models. There's 3D grass. Yeah, better draw distance in general as well. So good stuff. Let's find out. Moment of truth. Can we do medium at 30 frames per second? Probably not, but we gotta try it. It's my job. Probably helps because Kepler compatibility with newer APIs is omega bad. Yeah, it is. Man, in 2021 you still need to restart the game to apply graphics settings. Yeah, this is one of the few games that requires that. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but that's probably a limitation with the engine, I'm guessing. But who knows? Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's what I hate about some games, that they need you to restart when changing settings. Yeah, this game at 30 frames is fine. Okay, 28, 26.
When facing enemy walls,
yeah, probably a lower resolution is needed, but maybe we can actually do it. Although there's no shadows. Let's put shadows on medium. Whoa, wrong button. Okay, ZM football, I agree. Let's put everything on medium, and we're going to lower the resolution to 900p. That should do the job just fine. Yeah. Get out of here. Okay, settings, graphics. Let's go 900p. There we go. Perfect, 900p, and everything on medium. And I gotta restart the game again. Jesus, I hate that. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah, get out of the game. Yeah, my English sounds good enough, I'm guessing. That's kind of my... I mean, I don't have high expectations. I just want to talk to you guys, so... Yeah, I do what I can. I do what I can with what I have. That's what I tell my girlfriend all the time. Sorry, honey, I do what I can with what I have. Are you high? No, I'm not. But ZM football probably is. I want that good stuff. I hate smoking. It's probably a good time. Okay, here we go. 900p, medium, image quality on medium. Thanks, Prospector. I appreciate that. I'm not a native speaker either, and I can perfectly understand you. Well, that's kind of the point. Understanding me is what I try. That people understand what I say. I don't try to be perfect with my speech. I just try to be understandable. Have a great day. No, I just try to make it sound understandable. I try to not have an accent. I'm not British or American.
You can also research additional siege.
I just try to... I try to be understandable. That's kind of what I try to do, if that makes any sense. I mean, if you guys don't understand what I say, it's kind of pointless. I could speak perfect English, but if you guys don't understand what I'm saying, better said, it doesn't make sense. Do most people speak English in your country? I mean, English in my country, it's included with your education. It's a mandatory assignment. But people usually do not like practicing English here. It's kind of a rare thing to speak English fluently. But I think more and more people are going to get into that in the future. I mean, nowadays, for a job application, you need to have some basic English. If not, you're not getting the job. So yeah. Yeah, don't worry, Zed M Football. I didn't take it seriously. If I take things very seriously, I will get a lot of issues with my brain. That's fine, don't worry, I didn't take it personally. Rusty Pepperoni's gameplay, yeah. Yeah, as you can see, medium is way more taxing. But if you want shadows, 3D grass, all that stuff, you can do it. It's not unplayable, but yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So yeah, the frame times are still there, spiking left and right. Let's do 720. Maybe 720 is more consistent. So we fix it up. Okay, so now it's 720p. Again, remember, between medium and low, a huge visual difference, but the performance difference, well, is more than double, more than 200%. Your native Portuguese speaker is easier to understand your English. Well, thanks for that. I'm glad that that's the case. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Portuguese and Spanish are pretty close. They come from the same place, from the Latin languages. So yeah, it makes more sense. We have very similar languages, so since Spanish is my baseline, it makes more sense, actually. And we're neighbors. You're probably from Brazil or Portugal, right? What are you talking about? Oh, nobody is in particular. Okay, yeah, 720p I think is the way to go. You stay over 30 most of the time. Yeah, frame times are pretty bad, even if you lock the frame rate. But the frame rate, I think you should lock it to 30 anyway. Yeah, I think this is the best configuration, without a doubt. So on the 750 Ti, lock it to 30, 720p, medium settings on everything, and you're good to go. So 1080p low or 720p mid, exactly, you got it right, Dark Master. 1080p low and you will be over 60 frames, but visuals take a big hit, or 720p medium settings with a 30 frames per second cap, which both look good. 1080p has the advantage of a higher resolution, 720p has the advantage of we have shadows, we have grass in 3D, and all that good stuff. Do you think 1050 Ti will run Elden Ring? Yeah, I guess so. If the Xbox One and the PS4 can run it, we should be good. I guess for solo games it's enough, but it won't cut it online. Yeah, no. You're right. But hey, at least you can play the game. Yeah, 30 FPS until patched. Yeah, I mean the patch will be for more cores to be taken advantage of. And for the stutter when moving the camera, Jesus Christ, that kills me. That kills my eyes. So yeah. Yeah, the frame time is the problem. If the frame time was consistent, I wouldn't have any problems with this. But it can be so inconsistent that it wrecks my eyes. Yeah, it kind of makes the camera be like a choppy movement. And if I use it, well, if I move it using arrows, it's a little bit better. It's more comfortable. But still. Yeah, that bothers me. Anyway guys, that's it for today. In my opinion, this game needs a good in-between, because if you go for low, there's no grass, no shadows, and there's no way around it. But if you go for medium, it's significantly more demanding. And also you need to restart the game after changing presets, which is kind of ridiculous for a game released in 2021, in my opinion. But I think it needs an in-between between low and medium. Give me more options for scalability. And well, the stutter, they need to fix that frame time and that CPU usage. And the camera movement, that it makes the frame time spike as well. But I don't know, give me an option for low settings but shadows on, or low settings plus 3D grass and shadows on, because the difference in performance is huge between medium and low. It's kinda, you get 100 FPS on low, and on medium you get like 30 frames. It's ridiculous. So I want more scalability and more options to do fine-tuning. But overall, yeah, the biggest issue for me is the frame time. The frame time needs fixing right away. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments later what game you want to see tested, maybe emulators. I was thinking about doing Metroid Dread on the Nintendo Switch emulator. That sounds like an interesting game to check out, since on the Switch it's 60 frames but it kind of drops. So we'll see what it does, what it do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys, thanks for watching, love you all, thank you. See ya next time, hopefully with good news next time, with better frame times.